So, longtime listeners of the show over the last year will know that Matt is a big fan of Johnny Davis, and I don't want to necessarily, ignore that fact. But most of the scouts that I talk to, and I'm sure that most of the scouts that Matt talks to, see Jaden Ivey as the clear number one guard in this class.
It's true.
And I'll just kind of ask this question. I mean, he has emerged a little bit more over the course of the last month, but Jaden Ivey is playing in a Purdue scheme where they have two elite level bigs in Trevion Williams and Zach Edey. It is a post-centric offense for an elite level electric transition guard. Do we think that Purdue's scheme holds him back in terms of production and efficiency? Or do we think that it kind of helps him a little bit to maybe paper over some of the concerns where he doesn't have to create out of ball screens all the time? He doesn't have to be responsible for everything. Where are we at on Jaden Ivey at this point?
I think somewhat it holds them back. And Purdue, like you said, they want to play inside out with their bigs of Zach Edey, who's 7'4", and Trevion Williams, 6'10", in the middle. So even the best of times, the lane can be clogged, and pick and rolls don't end up the most aesthetically pleasing sets to watch. Now, Purdue is letting him operate a little bit more. He's become such a big part of opposing scouting reports, so his shots at the same time are going to be tougher looks. The first 19 games of the season, he was playing 29 minutes per game and averaging 11 field goal attempts. The last 6 games of the season, he's playing 34 minutes per game and averaging 16 field goal attempts per game. So you see that Purdue's letting him go a little bit. They're doing more things to create space for him, more of those floppy screen actions on the baseline, more ball screens. So it's important to track how much, if any, the production shifts now with the offensive load really being put more on him. And I'll say Purdue's 5-1 those last 6 games where he's had like the freedom to go out and score. We've seen both. We've seen him play within the context of a team scheme, and now him being like the focal point of it. It's a good evaluation setting where you can say you're the main guy on a team or you're a piece on a team, and how do you fit in? I think for both, it's been pretty seamless.
Yeah, the big key there is the jumper. He shot well this year, and he shot well in high school. He shot over 40% from three in his last 3 years of high school. He shot horribly from three last year and was at like 26%.
Yeah.
As long as the jumper, I think, continues to improve in terms of consistency, even over the course of the last month since January 17th, he's down to about 34% from three. As long as the jumper is there and he's knocking down shots consistently, I think that he can be an effective player at any role, any way that he's asked to play. At the end of the day, this is just an electric athlete that I think is going to translate much better to the NBA than he does to college.
Can I have like a button where I just extend the question for like 1 minute? Because I do have a take that I want your expertise on. So
go for it.
So we talked about the bigs. We talked about Polachet, Jabari, right?
Yep.
Is there a world where, and he wasn't great last game, he was 1 for 8, ends up scoring late, whatever. Against Maryland, he was fine. Is there a world where he leapfrogs those guys and goes first because teams think you can't pass on this electric live wire type wing athlete, off ball creator in a league that searches for it? As good as these bigs are, will there be a team that is even like stubborn enough to stick to their guns and say, this is the play we're going to run, and Jaden Ivey's the guy we want to build around?
If the right team got number one, I think yes. Like if the Magic end up getting number one, that's a really interesting combo. I think that for the Pistons, like I know Pistons fans have talked a lot about taking a big to pair with Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
I actually think that Jaden Ivey is like the exact player that you pair with Cade Cunningham, because the thing that the Pistons need is more like electric guard play, right? Like they need an athlete to be able to play with Cade, who's elite and is unbelievable. And I think is going to be like a multi-time all NBA player, like unbelievable player. But he's not like some incredible athlete. So I think the compliment there would be Jaden Ivey. Like he would be perfect for him.
And neither Sadiq Bey and neither Achilles Hayes. They're not, their personnel isn't really built around the type of player he is.
Isaiah Stewart, like you can go up and down the roster.
And Cade settled in. Like for everyone yelling at us, go back and look at the stats. His are as good as anybody's right now. Evan Mobley averages like a rebound more. Other than that, Cade's like, he's there. Just for the record.
Cade's a stud. But yeah, no, I think there's a real chance that Jaden goes number one. I think his game translates better to the NBA than it does college.
Totally.
It just does. The ability to play up tempo, get out in transition. Once he's downhill, it's over. Like it is completely, utterly over.
Oh, and
once
he knows now too. Like he does a dribble, like kicks his legs a little bit. It's like the Sonic the Hedgehog boost. He's like gonna roll up and spin and go. It's
you see
know
that like little crow hop kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, he does like the 1-2 step. It's like, here we go.
Oh my God, it's the best. There are very few players in college basketball that I enjoy watching more than Jaden Ivey.